Okay. Let's find a slightly more mellow jam here. Okay. So, welcome, ladies. My name is Brett. Thank you for coming out this afternoon. We're going to work on some twists, is what I had planned, and we're also going to work on some balance. Let's go ahead and start in a supported bridge. I know our blocks are kind of more like approximation of blocks, but bring one beneath your shoulder blades, possibly two, or this variation. Essentially, you'd like it to meet right, your bra strap is a good indication, but right in between the shoulder blades. Let it rest right there. And then you could either put your head on the second block, or if you'd like a little bit more, you can let it come all the way down to the ground. Your feet can straighten out, your arms by your side, or out to a T. Baddha feels really nice if you'd like to bring the bottoms of your feet together. And I can come around and help with blockage. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to be here for a few minutes. This posture actually encourages opening in the fascia across our chest and our shoulders. In the yoga practice, our physical bodies are much more than bone and muscle and all the rest. If you look inside, you see light and energy, memories, some scars. And these passive postures can seem so innocuous, but can also encourage blood flow and healing on microscopic levels. So welcome to your practice. With the objectivity of a scientist, begin to observe your breathing. At first, don't do anything to change it. Don't try to control it in any way. Just, where does it go in your body? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Your chest, your belly, your ribs. We all have our patterns. I have mine. And gently encourage your breath to deepen. As if you could relax into a place that's holding you. Whatever's on the ground, let it become heavy. Let your bones be heavy. Feel your weight allowing you to open. And still conscious of your breath. Breathe in so much so that you expand your belly. And exhale through the nose. Make it a 4-count breath. As you inhale, you'll inhale first into your belly, and then like filling a glass of water that fills from the bottom up. Belly, ribs, chest. Hold for a moment, a heartbeat, and then exhale, chest, ribs, stomach. Inhale, 2, 3, hold. Exhale from the chest, the ribs, the belly. Continue that pattern a few more rounds, following your own breath. Let your breath breathe you. If you know your ujjayi, engage it. If you don't, we can practice. So you inhale deeply through your nose. And exhale with the same force that if you had a piece of glass in front of you or a mirror, you could fog it up, but with the lips closed. So inhale through the nose and out through the nose. Throughout the course of the class, if you can follow the movement of the breath, you will stay safe and you will stay within your parasympathetic nervous system. It keeps blood flowing into our vital organs. It helps with our sense of balance. As we move into twists, it will help us rotate internally as opposed to external levers. I'm going to give you one moment of silence. Engage with your breath. And if thoughts are flickering across your brain, know that that's okay. Chitta, the mind stuff, it happens. Just label it thinking and let it go. If it's not happening right now, you, with your body on your mat, it's really not happening. And very gently, roll to your right side and off your blocks. As you're ready, after you've moved the blocks aside, come onto your back. And first, just stretch out long, like you just woke up first thing in the morning. Stretch through your toes and through your fingertips. Let it be a nice long line. Engage everything. And then draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Thank yourself for being here. Gently encourage your right knee into your right shoulder, or just gently in that direction. And allow the left leg to straighten out across your mat. You can even imagine that there's an imaginary wall and you're pressing it with your heel, and that gives a little bit more leverage to open up the right hip. Beautiful, ladies. So your left toes, point them towards the ceiling to have that engagement. And find your breath. On your next inhale, bring both knees into the chest. Little mini hug. You can certainly rock back and forth a little bit to massage the lower back. And then stretch out long through that right foot. So again, find that imaginary wall and press against it to engage as you gently and lovingly encourage your left knee in the general vicinity of your left shoulder. It can be an energetic motion as well as a physical one. I like to roll my ankles. It's winter, so there may be some crackies going on. It's all right. We're nearing winter. If your shoulders are tensing up, see that they can relax onto your mat. And then bring both your knees back into your chest. Hold your shins. Now, let your left foot come flat to the ground and open up your right ankle to cross your left thigh. You can always look at me if you're not sure where we're going. And then reach behind your left thigh and gently encourage your legs towards you. If you'd like a little more, you can straighten your left leg and use your right elbow to gently press your right knee away from you, so towards the front of the room. This is it can be a fairly intense hip opener. So move slowly and breathe. I have it on very good authority. Breathing will help. Beautiful, ladies. And let that go. Bring both knees into the chest one more time. This time, let the right foot come down. The left ankle crosses at the right knee. Reach around the right thigh and encourage your right thigh towards you as you use your left elbow to push the left knee away. Let it be gentle. Our hips hold a lot of tension. If we're athletes, they tend to absorb a lot of stress. So meet the stretch with your breath and know that it's okay and it's welcome. And roll out your ankles. And then let it go. Bring your knees together. See if you can straighten the bottoms of your feet towards the ceiling. You can absolutely hold behind your thighs. Just relax your shoulder blades so they're on the ground. And you can definitely microbend your knees as well if this is really intense on your hamstrings. And then reach down and grab either side of the long edge of your mat. And then very, very gently, keeping your hips as much as you can on the ground, and the lumbar spine can be still in its gentle natural curve or even slightly pressed into the mat. Allow your legs to come to the right, about to a 45-degree angle. Beautiful, ladies. And inhale, come up. And the other side as you exhale. Inhale to come up. Gently waking up our core. Come down a little bit lower on the right side, say between 45 and the full to the ground. My math there was a little inaccurate. And then come back to the other side, to the left. Let him come down a little further. The compulsion is for the right hip to fly off the mat. See to what degree you can engage your core by encouraging it down. Both feet to the ceiling again. And this time, again, finding a nice long spine. See if you can get your right toes to almost hover off the mat. To whatever degree you can. Beautiful, ladies. Come back up and over to the left. Engage your core by bringing your belly button in towards your spine as you inhale to come up. And lower your knees into your chest. You can straighten your left leg or keep them both bent, but let your hands come out in a letter T or cactus arms, whichever feels better on your shoulders, and gently allow your legs to come over to the left side, to come into a simple supine twist. Yes, beautiful. Perfect. Whatever your favorite variation of that is. Let your right shoulder blade be heavy. Perfect. I saw that correction. That was awesome. And you can relax your feet into the ground if it's more comfortable for you. So let it be passive. Let the spine unravel. And breathe. This is our first twist. So see where your twist is today. It changes from day to day. Where are you today? Bring your knees back to center. And I beg your pardon, I think I said to the left last time. So whichever side I did not cue, please go to the other side and release your legs down. Whichever way you didn't go. Generally we do right first in twists, but we'll do a few, so I get to practice that too. And let your left shoulder be heavy into the mat. In yoga, we talk about Kundalini. She's this amazing snake that lives at the base of our spine, just on the sacrum. And yoga, especially twists, can help wake her up. And when she unravels, she has this incredible power. I don't necessarily know how literal that is, but there certainly is a power that can be found in releasing the tension in our lower backs. And as you're ready, come back to center. Very, very gently, lift your forehead towards your knees and start to rock back and forth, massaging your spine if you're ready to do it. If not, you can certainly go side to side. Oh, you guys are on it. Try to avoid your cervical spine or your neck, but just massage your spine until you've gained enough momentum to roll up onto all fours. I may adjust my mat so I'm not quite so rude. All right, very nice, ladies. And Biddalasana, cat-cow. So on your inhale, your sternum and your tailbone come to the ceiling. As you exhale, push the ground away and let your belly button come towards your spine. Follow your own breath, and by all means, if there's little motions or wiggles you need to get out, have at it. But just let the breath move you. You can go hips side to side. That stretches out. Leave the gluteus medius the outside. You can go back and forth a little bit. One thing I really like to do is let the movement originate from my tailbone as I raise and lower it, and then just watch how my spine follows it to see what the relationship is there. Just be curious. And then finally, let your toes touch, your knees just a little bit wider than hips width, and walk your hands out in front of you. Sink your hips back into a very active child's pose, so keep your forearms off the ground, and even push away, like push the front short edge of the mat away from you as you reach with your buttocks down towards your heels. Create that flexion in your back. And then on an inhale, rise back into quadruped or tabletop. Now, this is kind of a gauge of where we are. Keep your hips over your knees. Walk out your hands a little bit and see if you can encourage your heart down to your mat. If you can't, you can absolutely stay up here, or you guys can both get it. But try to keep your hips over your knees so you're coming forward. And melt it down. You can wiggle your tail a little bit. This posture is playfully called puppy dog pose, I think because it looks like a puppy wanting to play. But it's actually Anahatasana, your heart chakra. So see if you can surrender your newly opened heart into the floor. And then slowly walk your hands back. Coming onto your knees, let your left foot come out. Try as much as you can here to establish an even pelvis, so let your tailbone be long towards the back of your knee. And put your hand on your left thigh or your calf. And as you inhale, stretch over, get that flexion. Our intercostal muscles work all day keeping us breathing. So let them get some oxygen in there. Just breathe into that. Three rounds of breath. Beautiful, ladies. And then as you exhale, stretch out broad for 1 second, and then let your right hand come down. Do a broad stretch across the other side. See if you can establish a line of energy all the way from the outside of your foot through your fingertips. Yoga asks us to establish relationships between really curious parts of our bodies sometimes, so it helps to do it where we can. And then inhale, come back up. Come to your hands to heart center, or however you'd like, just to switch over and extend your right leg out. So once again, find that good place, just not on your knee, because we don't really need to put extra pressure there. And inhale, come into that big flexion stretch. Gate posture. Over to the leg. There you go, your left arm. Over your right leg. I have definitely been known to have moments of severe dyslexia with left and right, so. And breathe. And relax your shoulder blade out of your ear a little bit. It lets the shoulder relax more naturally onto the back. Just feel that long line. And exhale, stretch out long as if you could reach either side of the room and let it come down right below your shoulder. Reach up and over. See again if you can establish a line of communication here from out baby edge of your foot to your middle finger of your right hand. Drop the shoulder. And come back up to center. Bring the knees together. Very, very gently, we're not going to do the full posture, but just put your hands, fingertips up. Parallel your feet. Actively look back and see they're parallel. And then just very gently encourage your tailbone towards your knees. And just to whatever extent that lifts your chest is fine. We're not going to go for a big, crazy back bend right now. Just see where you are with that. All right. And as you're ready, keeping your hands there to keep it safe, come back up. Come back down onto all fours. Curl your toes under and come up, hips up and back into your first downward facing dog, Arta, Mukha, Svanasana. We're going to do a couple of these, so let's see that we have a good one. And again, I beg your pardon, I forgot to ask. I like to offer hands-on adjustments. If either of you would prefer I didn't, can you raise your right leg so I know to respect your space? All right, great. So parallel the creases of your hands towards the front short edge of your mat. Then gently encourage your upper outer arms back. Micro-bend your elbows a little bit. You hyperextend. That. Inhale. Exhale. That's a beautiful line. It might help, you could try having your feet more hip width a little bit. It might open up your back a little bit. Beautiful. Can I ask you to bend your knees a little bit? Then lift your tailbone towards the sky. Beautiful, thank you. That's awesome. And again, upper outer arms, rotate back. Beautiful. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Our first forward fold, let it drape out, let it all go. Release the weight of your head. And then isometrically drag the front of your mat towards you to lift your heart and lengthen your spine into Uttanasana. And then release Uttanasana. Place your hands on your hips, and hinging from the hips, come up to stand, your Tadasana. So both of you come to the front of your mats. And let's move through a adjusted Surya Namaskar A. So standing either with your feet hip width apart, it's a little more spacious on the hamstrings, or with your feet together if you're feeling super open and fly. Come to your Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead. They can touch if you'd like. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, heart up, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, step back with your right foot and then your left and come into your plank. Let's move all the way to the ground, moving through Chaturanga, one long line of your body so everything touches down at the same time. Place your hands directly, or your elbows directly under your shoulders. Then isometrically pull your mat back as you lift your heart forward. Your feet, the flat top of your feet is pushing down into the mat. It looks somewhat easy, but Sphinx actually encourages a lot of engagement. So pull forward, pull your heart forward, spread across your collarbones, and lift your crown towards the ceiling to the degree that it's comfortable for you. Exhale, come down. One baby cobra. Again, pull your hands back as you allow your shoulders, heart, and then head to come off the ground. Just a baby cobra. And stretch long. See if you can think of a long line from your toes to your head and all the way down. Then exhale. You can absolutely use your knees, or if you'd like, it's a little bit of fun, keep your hands directly under your shoulders, curl your toes under, and rise up into your plank. Beautiful. And exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Collect 3 breaths. Move out, pedal your dog. Anything that feels right for you. On your exhale, look up between your hands, and in the space after your exhale, either walk up or bending your knees, jump in between your hands. Beautiful, Lauren. There's a lot of lift there. And then inhale, straighten your spine, extend the heart forward. Exhale, let it go. And inhale, we rise. Exhale, Samasthitihi. All right, we're going to do 2 more. You're welcome to move at your own breath. And in fact, I encourage it. Let it move you. If you would like some guidance of where we're going, follow me, watch me. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, hinge from the hips and let it go. Inhale, drag your heart forward. Exhale, let that go. Inhale, plant your hands firmly and step back into plank or leap back into Chaturanga. Exhale, lower into Chaturanga. Keep your shoulders above your elbows. And then inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe 5 breathings, as Guruji says. Are you doing the longer stance to stretch something out? Helps. You're welcome to do whatever you need to do, but bend your knees. And long. You want to feel as if your pelvic bowl were tilted forward and your spine is pouring out of it. And press down through your finger knuckles as much as possible. And exhale, look between your hands, the space between your hands, and gently walk or step your feet between them. Inhale, spread across the collarbones as you bring your heart forward. Exhale, Uttanasana, let it go. Inhale, hands on hips, hinging from the hips, rise all the way up, back into Tadasana. And back into Samasthiti. Beautiful, ladies. Once more with your own breath. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, dive forward, let it go. Beautiful. Inhale, spread across your collarbones as you lift your heart forward. Beautiful correction. Exhale, let it fold forward. Step back. Perfect. Beautiful. Step back into plank. Then come into Chaturanga. On your inhale, come up into upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Collect 5 breathings. The upward facing dog, to broaden across the collarbones, involves pushing the shoulder blades into the chest. So it'll help raise the heart. We'll practice that. 3 breathings. And then look between your hands. Step or walk between them. Beautiful. Inhale, part way up. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, come back down into Samasthiti. All right. Surya Namaskar B. Starting from the top of your mat, dive in. We're going dive down. Come up into your Utkatasana. Gently engage your abdomen by bringing your belly button in and up. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, reach across your heart. Exhale, step or jump back into plank or Chaturanga. Moving through your up dog, and then coming back into downward facing dog. From here, this is not traditional, but that's okay. Raise your right foot up in the air. Keep, to the best of your degree, your hips square. It's really easy for that right hip to fly up, but try to keep them level for this. And then bring your right foot between your hands. So the first time we'll do it with modification, so lower your left knee down and uncurl your toes. You can sweep your mat, come up into your low lunge. There's a great energetic motion between your thighs. I call it scissoring, and use that to draw you upright. And exhale, let it go. Frame your foot with your hands. Step your right foot back. Optional Chaturanga and upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your left high, high and proud. Press through the left foot. So it's not a passive flail. It's a conscientious movement. And then bring your left foot between your hands and lower your right knee to the ground. Untuck your toes. Inhale. Beautiful. If you want to go for a back bend, that's absolutely okay. Just be conscious of letting it come from the thoracic and not the low back. Exhale, hands forward. Step your left foot back to join your right and come into one more Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra if your back's like, nope, not cool with that. And exhale, downward facing dog. Gather yourself, 3 breaths. Where's your breath gone? Is it with you? Is it moving through you? Did you forget it at the beginning? It's okay, that happens. Then look between your hands and bring your feet together. So 2 legs or 1 leg. Like so. Bend your knees dramatically. Look between your hands and see if you can't leap right between your hands. Beautiful. Urdhva Uttanasana. Stretch out the spine. Exhale, let it go. Release the weight of your head and your neck. You carry it all day, let it go. Bend your knees deeply. Sweep your mats. Come up into Utkatasana. And exhale, Samasthiti. All right, one more at a more traditional pace. Inhale, we rise. Oop, nope, you're totally right. Inhale, we rise from Utkatasana. It's clearly Freudian slip there. Exhale, roll forward. Inhale, stretch across the heart. Exhale, let it go. Step back into plank or Chaturanga. And lower to Chaturanga if that's the way you went. Upward facing dog. And take it back. Lift your right leg and bring it between your hands. Let your left, take a moment here to orientate yourself. Make sure your right knee is directly over your right ankle. Then pivot your left ankle down. Traditional alignment is heel to heel. If, like me, you need a little more space, walk your right heel out a little bit. And then come up into your warrior one. We're going to take 5 breaths here. This is a very powerful posture, and the energy comes from the feet. So feel that long line of energy through your back foot as you gently encourage your left hip forward and your right hip back. Beautiful. And then lengthen up through the ribs. And you have the right idea. Relax your shoulders. Beautiful. A traditionalist. I love it. Left hip forward, right back. Up through the ribs. See if you can find that power. Beautiful. And exhale. Let your hands frame your foot. Step back into plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale as you go down, and inhale, upward facing dog. Press your shoulder blades into your chest and relax your shoulders out of your ears. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg up, high and proud, keeping your hips square to the best of your ability. And then invite your left leg in between your hands. Take that moment, make sure you have your left knee directly over your left ankle, and pivot your right heel down and come up into your warrior one. One side, for me, always feels different. So just play and see what's balanced, what isn't. Left back, right forward. Beautiful. If it's comfortable for you, see if you can sink a little more deeply into the left. Beautiful. You can keep it right there, too. Beautiful. Lift the heart in this posture. There's a really cool story behind this pose. He was a mighty warrior. He came to serve the Lord of Yogis. So let it be powerful. Then let your hands come down. Step back into plank. Exhale through your Chaturanga, keeping your shoulders above your elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your heart. And exhale, downward facing dog. Gather yourself. Breathe 5 breathings. Then on the exhalation after your last breath, walk your feet together, 2 legs as 1 leg. Bend your knees dramatically and leap between your hands, or walk up. That's awesome too. Inhale, lift, spread across the collarbones, stretch out wide. Exhale, let it go. See if your forward fold feels any more fluid. Then bend your knees dramatically and come back into Utkatasana. I forewent it earlier, but it's actually one of my favorite postures. It's jokingly called chair pose. I'm talking to distract you from the pain of the fact that we're going to hang out here for a second. But it's actually Utkatasana's fierce pose. So see if you can find your fierceness. Spread across your collarbones, open your heart. And exhale, let it go. Have some fun with balance. Come back in your Utkatasana. Now, raise your right foot to whatever degree you can. And then straighten your left leg. See if you can encourage your right knee higher into your chest. And open up wide. Bring your hands to heart center. And hinging forward from your hips, let your right leg come straight back. See if you can establish a long line of energy. You can absolutely practice with your hands on the ground. But you're trying to establish a line of energy from your, no! That's okay. Water happens. From your right foot through the crown of your head. We've had a dam removal back here. That's great. It's good for the ecosystem. And then imagine yourself putting your hands forward, and then do so. Find that balance. Beautiful, both of you. And exhale, bring your knee back to your chest, and let it go. It's okay, I just want to step over there. All right, same thing. Come down into Utkatasana. Lift and rise. Here. And raise your left foot off the ground to the best of your ability. Encourage your left knee into your chest to what degree you can. Bring your hands to heart center. Pivoting from the hips. Come into your warrior three. Beautiful. I've got you. If you'd like to go further, you can. If you want to hang out here, that's awesome too. And then, leading from your heart, envision yourself with your arms forward and then raise them forward. Establish that long line. Lauren, see if you can lift your left heel just a little bit and press through it actively. Beautiful. There you go. Good. And then as you're ready, with balance, bring it back up, hands to heart center, and let it go. All right. Come with your feet about hip width apart, and maybe a little bit wider actually. Turn your toes out, and very gently come into Malasana. Use your triceps to press your knees out a little bit, and then keep it upright. It's really easy to do this thing, but see if you can spread still that cue across the collar blades and press your wrists into each other. This is warming up our wrists for some play with arm balances. And then options. You can hang out here. That's great. Or see if you can reach your left arm around and bind over with your right. So left arm comes straight out in front of you, and then marry it around your inside of your thigh and behind you. Any variation is good. And you can turn to look at the right side. And breathe. That's okay. Let it bind go. Let the bind go. Come back to center. And reach out with your right hand. Wrap it around. Say hello to your kidney. And then bring your left hand around. Once again, still spread across your collar. Exhale, let that go. And I know you're both, well, come up into a downward facing dog, however you need to move so you're still in the center of your mat. Once more, raise your right foot, step it in between. Come this way. Let your left heel come down. With a heel to arch alignment this time, come up into your warrior two. So again, lengthen the tailbone down towards your knees and find an even pelvis. Let your body face forward as your gaze looks over your right fingertips. See if you can sink a little deeper into that right heel as you stay lifted. And breathe. Let's make it dynamic. So inhale, side posture, side angle pose. And exhale, reverse warrior. Keep it that side bend like we explored before. And inhale. Exhale fully. Inhale, we rise. Exhale fully. Let the movement, let it move you. See what's mobile, see what's stiff, see what's light, see what's spacious. A few more times. As you go back, it's very easy to come out of your right knee. So see if you can sink further into the right leg, even as you stretch back with your right fingertips. Forward. One more time, go back. Then windmill your hands in front of your right foot. Let your left knee come down, but keep the toes tucked. Come up once more into that high lunge. Let your fingers come together. And then I'm kind of faced awkwardly here, but let your left elbow come around your right. So other way. So yeah, that way. There you go. And kind of, you can use a little bit of leverage to really open up that twist, but it really should come more from the length of the spine than like cranking in there. And then if you'd like, you can hang out here or curl the toes under and rise up into a reversed side angle. Options, you can also straighten your legs. You can hang out here. Beautiful. You guys are both doing this pretty well, but remember to press your shoulder blades into your chest. Spread across your collarbones. That will keep the twist in the thoracic where it's safer to twist. Exhale, we rise. Come forward, frame your foot with your hands, come back into downward facing dog. Optional, vinyasa if you're feeling powerful and mighty, or take a moment to breathe. Beautiful. You're doing great things with your feet. When you go forward, See if you can magnetize your ankles towards each other. They go like this, which is very... Yes, absolutely. When you come into your downward dog, you're kind of doing this thing, which is very common and very easy to do. See if you can magnetize your heels together. Yeah. All right. And raise your left leg high and proud. With conviction, step it between your hands. And lower your right knee down. Come again into that high lunge. Bring your palms to your chest. Inhale once to really lengthen through the spine. And then from the exhale, rotate so your right tricep is going to the outside of your left thigh. Hang out here, encouraging your right hip to hug in, or rise up onto your back toes. If that is your option, press firmly through the back leg. Beautiful. You can also experiment with opening your wings, or hang out there is awesome. And as you're ready, exhale heavily to frame your foot with your hands. Come back into your downward facing dog, optional vinyasa. From your downward facing dog, heel toe as many steps as you can possibly take to stretch out the back of our legs. Just walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Then take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toe. Bend your knees as much as you need to comfortably open up your elbows to the side. And then release the weight of the head and fold forward. Play with your balance by coming a little bit more onto the balls of your feet. Oh, sorry, I didn't throw you off. Beautiful. Just like before, bend your knees. And then just imagine if you could lift your tailbone towards the sky. Beautiful. There it goes. There it goes. Inhale fully. Exhale slowly. Inhale, bring your heart forward. And exhale. This one's a little funky. You can bend your knees as much as you need to step your palms to meet the bottom of your feet. And if you get your toes and your wrist creases, and you can give a gentle massage to your wrists to give them a little bit of a break. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and then press firmly through your feet. See if you can straighten your legs to some degree, to any degree. And breathe. Release the head. Let your head be heavy. Let it just come down. Release your head. I think our brain is something like 8 pounds. We keep it on top of several very finicky vertebrae. So give it a chance to just let go. Gently walk your hands out so they're directly under your shoulders. In this kind of bear crawl position, it's kind of a modified Urdhva Uttanasana. Again, press your shoulder blades into your back and broaden across your collarbone. And then come onto the balls of your toes and bend your knees. Actually, you may be more stable to have your feet together. Yeah, we're going to do that one. And then see if you can magnetize your ankles, your inner ankles towards each other. See if you can find balance here. You can absolutely keep your hands down, just keep a long line through your back, or to heart center. Gaze at a point out in front of you. Let your toes be active. Even that pesky little toe that likes to escape, have it there too. Blocks are awesome, awesome option. And then inhale and really feel a length through your spine. Reach down with your tailbone and up through the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, from deep within, internally rotate to your right. So options. Hang out here. This is great. This is rad. Or bring your hands all the way down and form a kind of shelf with your hands and let yourself come up into a twisted Bakasana. From here, you can play with straightening your left leg. Beautiful. So I think you're strong enough. Our colleague needed a moment, which is excellent. You can absolutely practice here. That's great. But know that this hand is a prop. In the full pose, you want this a little bit further, a little deeper twist, and then you come up onto just one arm. And then straighten. Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I've definitely had some interesting crash landings out of that pose. It's totally okay. We'll give you a few more minutes to play since our colleague needs to do something. What's that? Yeah.
Finding like the right padding.
Yeah, for sure. The elbow going in there is totally a...
It's like it digs in.
I found like the middle of my thigh is sometimes the most like padded, but I imagine that varies. And send your heart forward. There you go. Looking forward, that good drishti. Awesome.
It's all about, finding the right spot.
Yes, for sure. It's just a game of balancing angles.
It feels a little more stable closer to my knee, but
You're taller than I am. Maybe that's like a better access point for you. Just so long as you're not like pushing into the knee, which I believe you know,
Right,
it's just not the best. All right. And come back. I hope I did not disturb her with a flying crow. That is, hopefully she'll come back. And let's try the other side. So that internal rotation. Let's come to the left side. Strengthening through the spine. One inhale to really stretch, and then the exhale to twist. And let your hands come down. I might knock a microphone off my bum in a moment. And come into your variation. And play. And I'll just hover.
is it top leg that straightens?
Yes, yes. There are variations of either way. For this class, I would recommend doing the top because it's easier to practice balance that way. Well, for me anyway. You can certainly try the other. One thing that will also help is encourage your left thigh, like engage the muscle that hugs your hip in to lift your thighs just a little bit. Let's see. I'll pop onto this yoga mat. Like, oh my goodness, that was not going to work. From here, lift up from your hips. Awesome. It's just play. It's just a silly posture that feels pretty awesome when you get off the ground. All right. Are you good? Do you want to keep fiddling around? Okay, great. So from here, keep your hands on the ground, straighten your legs. One more forward fold. And then just for fun, plant your hands directly between your shoulders and then pop out into your extended leg. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? My mat's facing differently. Come to face this direction. And bend your knees slightly to really accentuate the length of the spine. And then gently pull your heart through the gate of your legs. You can broaden your stance a little bit. If you'd like to play with tripod, you totally can. If not, just let this be heavy. Let your head be heavy. It can do all kinds of deep work. Beautiful. Engage your core. Awesome. However long you want to hang out. Press up through your heels as if you're pressing your feet into the ceiling for a little more stability. Amazing, well done. We always fold forward twice, so drag your hands towards you as you lift, spread across the collarbones. Exhale, let it go. Put your hands on your hips, come all the way up. Now, reach behind you and entwine your hands, like so. Forward fold once more. You can totally bend your knees as you're coming down. I find it's a little more spacious. And let your hands come over your head to your ability. See if you can bring your weight more onto the balls of your feet. There you go. A little more forward. Awesome, Lauren. And breathe. Breathe 5 breathings. And spread across your collarbones to come all the way up. So a little fun with Ashtanga. Bring your hands out wide, and then jump your feet together. I don't know why they love doing that. I have my suspicions. Jump back out. This time, from deep within the hip, open up your right leg. And again, find that heel to heel or heel to arch alignment, or heel to heel or a little wider alignment. And then bring your hands up. Glad you came back. And then let your left hip shoot to the left as you reach forward through your right hand. And come into your triangle and let your hand go wherever it needs to go. Block your foot. In traditional Ashtanga, you peace finger your big toe and press against the toenail. It's quite fun. And here again, gently encourage the left hip back as the right hip forward. And then stretch through the spine. That way. Beautiful. You've probably heard this analogy, but as if there was a plane of glass behind you, be in one long line. Beautiful opening. And then look forward. You can absolutely take your block with you. Bend your right knee and come into your half moon posture. Press vigorously through your left foot. That imaginary wall, let's say it's still there. I've got you. See if you can get your shoulders in the same line as your hips. Awesome. And very, very gently, we learn grace. Bend your right knee and allow yourself to come back into a wide-legged stance. Beautiful. And parallel your toes to the front of your mat. And then from deep within the left hip socket, let your left hip open all the way out from there. Heel to arch alignment. Inhale, let that be a big rise. Then let your right hips go to the side, your hips go to the right, as your left hand reaches as far as you can, and then come into your triangle. Spread across the chest. Again, see if you can get it all on one plane. And then as you're ready, I forgot to say, you can definitely put your top hand on your hip for balance if you'd like it. Bend your left knee as much as you need to launch forward into that half moon. And rise like the moon. You can bring your hand directly under your shoulder. Look at you. Beautiful. Is that okay on your hip? That is very true. Whatever feels better in your body, for sure. All right. And as you're ready, bend your left knee and gently descend, like ballerinas coming out of a pirouette or crashing down. I've done both. And from here, spread your arms wide and leap together. Bring your right knee up. I'm sorry, you can come to face the front of your mat. Bring your right knee up, cross it over, come into your eagle. Let your arms come wide. And by the way, this is absolutely an acceptable version. It's still working on the outer hip. So this, wrap it around if you can. This is where I normally hang out. Bring your hands out. Let your left arm come under, loop around. And then protract the shoulder blades by gently encouraging the elbows away from you. Be gentle. We're engaging almost all of our joints here, so just be gentle on everything. And gently, if you'd like, you can play with it a little bit further by bringing your elbows towards your knees. And breathe. So options. Hang out here and practice this. This is a lot of work. Or see how low you can come. twisting deeply from the mid-core. Come into an arm balance. Very much like before, but now your legs are twisted. And they both straighten. Beautiful. And if Gurudasana is like not doing it for you, you can also just stand and practice the shoulders. It's the shoulder opening we're going for. Beautiful. And as you're ready, hang out in it as long as you'd like, and then come back. And come out. And then coming out of your eagle, be mindful, but be big and expand. It's called eagle because of the unfurling of the wings. And come down. It's just fun. I love saying it's so fun when people are like, it's really hot in here. Like, I believe you, but like, really? Okay. So bring your left elbow, knee, definitely your knee. Bring your left knee up, cross it over. This time bring your right arm under into your Gurudasana. To whatever degree feels good. Hanging out here, completely acceptable. And just push your elbows gently away from you to spread across your back. Or, if you'd like, see if you can use your core. Go down deeper. And then if you're comfortable there, invite that twist. You just kind of untangle your arms. And come into this fun thing. Awesome. I'm going to hang out with you right here. Whenever you're ready, come up into that eagle. And then like when taking flight, let it unfurl. It can absolutely be just whatever it needs to be. All right, Palate-Cleansing Vinyasa. Come to the top of your mat. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we let it go. Inhale, spread across the collarbones. Let the spine be long. Exhale, come down. Step back into plank or jump into Chaturanga. Let it be slow. Let it be conscientious. Let it be safe. Magnetizing your ankles in. Come back into your downward facing dog. And breathe 5 breathings. See if you can ground down through your finger knuckles. That'll take some weight out of your wrists and be a little safer. Upper outer arms rotate to the back of the room. You too. Press down through your finger knuckles. It's a confusing moment because you have pronation here and external rotation here. And breathe. And as you're ready, just walk your hands back to your feet. Let your forward fold be soft and gentle. And then once more, stretch through your spine. Exhale, come down. Hands to your hips, and on your inhale, rise from your hips. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to do a posture that can be a little frustrating, but just move into it. It looks very simple. But the trick is find stability in your hips and then twist from the thoracic. So come to the top of your mats. And reach your arms out wide. Turn your palms to face behind you. And then join them together in Paschimottanasana. If that's not happening today, this week, this year, fists together. If that's also just not feeling great, grab opposite elbows. No matter what it looks like, the trick is to open across the chest and push your shoulder blades back. So whatever you have going on is awesome. And then step back your left foot about 3 feet. Inhale, raise your heart. And then exhale, use your hands on your back as a truth serum. So when you get to the point where your back rounds, stop there. It will help to press through your right toe to protect your hamstring. And then try to see if you can distribute your weight evenly through both feet. And then let your heart lead you down. Think about going out, not down. Into that hamstring. And breathe. Pray vigorously if you're there. See if that can go there. Awesome. And then, I'm not going to go this very, yes, perfect. Gently encourage your left hip forward and your right hip back.
I'm sure I look straight, but it feels like I'm twisted.
Yes.
I'm sure that's exactly where I need to be, but it feels like I'm
a little bit. Your hips are good. Let's see, what if we do like that? How does that feel for you? Okay. And press vigorously down through that right big toe. Yoga mythology, the big toe is the seat of the guru. So this is your inner teachers in there. It's probably not quite it, but very nice. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Now inhale, hinge from the hip and come up. Let your right hip come, and you can actually use it as a personal check to put it in your right hip crease. Raise your left arm up, and then come down. And this time, let your left hand go on the outside of your right foot. And you can totally keep your right hand here. That's okay. Or gently encourage it upward. The trick is stability in the hips and opening up through the thoracic or the upper back. Beautiful. Awesome. Does that feel okay on your shoulder? Okay. Then exhale, and wherever your hand is, your right hand is, put it in your right hip crease. Press down through your left foot as you come up, and see if you can find some balance in that. Left arm up wide, and then step your feet together. With conviction, step your right foot back about 3 feet. And again, find your reverse prayer, your fists pushing into each other, or your elbows. The trick here, again, is to, whatever is making contact, let it be making contact strongly. Oh, the other thing, it's very easy to do like the super lordotic woo there. Gently lengthen your tailbone towards your knees to prevent that. So this versus this. Okay. That thus ends your alignment lesson for the day. And step the right foot back. Lift the heart. Lead from the heart. Look at going forward, not down. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Press back through your right foot and down through your left big toe. And breathe. Inhale fully. Exhale slowly. Gently encourage your left hip back and your right hip forward. Beautiful. Lengthen through your heart, across your collarbone. Amazing. Having a moment, okay. And gently come all the way up. Once again, this time use your left hand as a little reminder in your left hip crease. Bring your right hand all the way up and hinge down so you're about halfway, and then pivot so your right hand lands on the opposite side of your foot, and then the left hand may come up. And blocks are always a good option. That is perfect angles. You look like the Ashtanga poster. Awesome rotation. A little gentler. Strength, length through your spine. There you go. Inhale fully, exhale slowly. Left hand to your left hip. Reach out long through your right hand. Bring everything back together. Samasthiti, equal standing pose. All right. Surya Namaskar to the ground. Last one. Inhale, rise. Exhale, come down. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, walk your feet back. And exhale, you can bend your knees, but come all the way down to the ground. All right, we're going to do 2 back bends today. The first one, actually, take a moment and breathe. It can be going from one plane to another, should be honored with a few breaths. All right, and then very gently, let your hands come forward. So that Sphinx-like posture. But then let your left hand bend so it's parallel to the front of your mat, and your left hand is about under where your right elbow was. And then reach back for your right foot. It's very easy here to like twirl open. Keep your shoulders straight ahead. Keep your heart straight ahead. And then press through. Kick your right hand so you get a bit of a lift. Your thigh here is going to stay on the ground. We're just saying hello to our hip flexors and our quadriceps here. And look forward. You're feeling that quad stretch? And then exhale, let that go. Switch your hands. Reach back and grab your foot. Press into your hand as you use your hand to find a mutual opposing forces there to stretch out that quad and hip flexor. And exhale. Very, very slowly without flinging, let it come down. So options here. You can absolutely come back into that Sphinx that we did earlier, or come all the way down. Bend both your knees, keeping your feet parallel and the palms of your feet towards the ceiling. Reach back towards your outer ankles. Then we'll start with our chest first. Shoulders, heart, and then head lift. And then kick back so vigorously the whole operation rises. And breathe, and breathe. Bring your knees closer together so they're hip width. It's a little bit easier on the spine. There you go. Don't pull, don't yank. Beautiful. 3 breaths. And exhale, let it go. Turn your head to one side or the other. And breathe deeply. That was so fun, we should do it again. Bend your knees. Reach back. Outer feet or ankles. Again, shoulders, sternum, and then head. The gaze lifts last. And then kick. Use your inhale, see if you can lift yourself a little higher. And your exhale to relax into whatever the space may be. If you start rocking, that's okay. 3 more breaths. And exhale, let it go. Let your head go to the other side. You can jostle your hips back and forth. Beautiful, ladies. Place your hands under your shoulders. And gently, lovingly, come up into a upward facing dog. Expanding across those collarbones. Then lower your knees. Tuck your tailbone towards your knees and come into a nice long child's pose. See if you can encourage your tailbone down towards your heels. And let your head be heavy on the ground. And gently, ever so gently, walk your hands back to where you're on your knees. All right. One more back bend. Come with your knees about hip width apart. Put your hands, again, as they were before. You're totally good. I knocked over water earlier. Let your fingertips point towards your shoulders. The compulsion in this posture is to let the hips come back. Press them forward. Come back to what we did before. This time, lengthen your tailbone down towards your knees. Let your chest open. You may bend your toes under, curl your toes under, and reach for your ankles. You may flatten your feet and come into full Ustrasana. Just a few breaths here. Beautiful. Breathe into this opening in your chest. Admire the space you've created. See if you can slow your breath until it's smooth and calm like the ocean waves. And gently, you can put your hands back on the small of your back to be safe and come out of it. That was a really beautiful thing. Then bring your hands down, feet down. Just come sit, Tadasana, staff pose. You can clear your bum out of the way a little bit. Have your feet hip width. Traditionally it's together, but this releases the hamstrings quite a bit. You can even bend your knees a little bit. Inhale, lift wide or high. Exhale, reach for your toes, your ankles, whatever. Inhale through your chest. And then exhale, bend forward. We're here for 10 breaths. So wherever you are, see if you can find softness and comfort in it. With each inhale, find a little more space. On the exhale, relax into that space you created. Ever so gently on an inhale. Again, broaden across the collarbones. And then gently come back up. Bring your right knee with you and set your right foot against your left thigh. Reach up long, twist over your left leg, and reach. There's a great art here in letting the head be heavy without curving the upper back. And inhale, rise up. You can shake out your legs a little bit as you come into your Tadasana one more time. Then bring your left foot in. We reach up wide, we create space. We twist ever so slightly over the right leg. And then reach for it. And relax, whatever the shape is. See if you can find the softness in it. And as you're ready, come all the way up. One more gentle twist. Actually, let's put our right foot over our left thigh and then bring the right foot in. Then hug your right thigh with your left arm. It's really done a lot of work, so gently encourage it towards you as you open up towards your right side. Never mind the neck initially. Just see how much you can twist by pressing your shoulder blades firmly towards your chest. And from that length, from that spaciousness, just let your gaze gently fall over your right shoulder. Follow, not lead. I have my boy Eddie Vedder saying what I've been saying all class. Just breathe. And then ever so gently come back into center. Quick counter pose. You can keep walking so you come over to the left. Just stabilize the spine a little bit. Then untwine your legs. Come back to that long Tadasana. And put your left foot over your right thigh. Bend your right foot towards your left buttocks. Ground down through both hips and reach up tall with your heart. Wrap your right knee towards your chest. And rotating from deep, deep within your core, come to the left. And almost as if an afterthought, the gaze can follow over the left shoulder. Once you've breathed out everything you need to, gently counter pose, walk your hands over to the right, keeping your spine long. And then forward. So, come down gently onto your back. Put your have your feet parallel towards the outer sides of your mat and let your knees come together. Then reach up overhead and take opposite elbow in either hand for constructive rest. This releases the muscles in the lower back. We bring our bodies into yoga and we heat them, just like you heat metal to make it more malleable. And this is the cooling and the undoing, where we see what movement we did while we were heated, while we were engaged and focused. We see where that lands in our body. What dark spaces did we get into? What did we miss? It's all okay. Just observe it. You're welcome to hang out here longer, or bring your hands down to your side, straighten out one leg and then the other, and gently relax into your Shavasana. Even here, take 1 second just to walk your shoulder blades in a little bit so they're tucked underneath you, as if you've finished your flight lesson for the day and you're folding your wings back up. And then release everything. Be heavy. Close your eyes and turn your gaze inward. And gently lie in what you've created over the last hour and a half. Sweet Shavasana. Welcome back. Start to gently wiggle your fingers and toes, twirl ankles, twirl wrists. Let your consciousness come into your body just like your breath, slowly, gently, with nourishing. As you're ready, you can bring your knees into your chest, or one more time, stretch out long, your arms overhead as if you're just waking up in the morning. And then roll over onto your right side. Use your right arm as a pillow. You can keep your eyes closed if you'd like for the rest of class. And very gently push yourself up, head is the last to rise. And join me in Sukhasana, contented space pose. Find Anjalayasana, hands to the heart. Inhale one more time, feel the length of your spine. And exhale, release. I am amazed and humbled at the focus and openness in this room tonight. Thank you so much for being here. You are my teachers. And the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Well done, ladies.
Thank you.
That was a very fun, intimate class.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
so
for coming
much.
out. Thank you.
Should send your staff.
Good. You have a really beautiful, strong practice. And any adjustments with balancing postures, your inner teacher knows far better than I ever could. So if there's something that's like, that's not really better balance for me,
Oh,
know.